Morris, do you have a moment?
Sure.
What do you think about what has happened to Henry?
It was to be expected. He drank way too much. I guess it had to end like this.
It sounds like you really don't care that it happened.
Well, we didn't exactly like each other, but I wish no ill will to anyone.
It was you who found him, right?
Yes, I needed something from the back garden, and as I was walking past, I noticed something floating in the fountain. I went closer to have a look, and he was totally tangled up in the weeds. I could see nothing except his coat.
Did you notice anything else?
No, I panicked, you see. I ran to the castle to get Bates to go have a look with me. I kept thinking I might have been confused and imagined it. But it really was Henry.
What happened next?
I rode into the village to get the detective. You know the rest.
So, Morris found Henry. Were you in the stable yesterday?
Sure I was. Where else would I have been?
The lights were not on.
Well, maybe I wasn't. Why are you asking? Oh, I can see where you're coming from. You're thinking that maybe what happened to Henry might not have been an accident and that somebody might have helped him into that pond. I may be a drunkard and a saucebox, sir, but I'm no murderer.
No one is calling you a murderer, Morris. I was just asking.
All right, fair enough, sir. If Madam learns that you are starting to suspect me, I may as well go looking for a new job. There's not much work available in this neighborhood. And besides, who would want to hire a man with one leg that is almost completely lame?
I'm not accusing you of anything, Morris. At least not yet. Morris, have you boarded up the old well like I asked you to yesterday?
Not yet, sir. I'll do it today.
It should have been done yesterday. I'm surprised that Henry didn't fall into it.
Excuse me, sir?
You know well how I meant that. I want to see it secured today, or you can start looking for a new job. Is that clear?
Sure, I'll do it. You needn't shout at me, sir.
I have no idea what has gotten into me. Why did I yell at him like that? I will go then.
All right, sir.
What happened to Henry is awful. First William, and now... Henry liked to drink, but other than that, he was a good man.
I'm sorry, Victoria.
I would like to be alone now. Do you need anything, Samuel?
Dr. Herman, the physician, does he live in Willow Creek?
No, some time ago he moved into an abandoned house near the old mill. It is quite close on the road to Willow Creek. The only house far and wide.
Yes, I remember where that is. Thanks.
Please excuse me now, Samuel.
Bates?
Yes, sir?
You said you were there when they dragged Henry out of the fountain.
Unfortunately, I was. The sight was terrible.
I have to tell you something. I feel responsible for what happened to him.
Why would you say something like that, sir?
Well, I ordered him to clean the fountain. He did not want to do it, but I insisted.
You mustn't think that way, sir. Surely, if he had not been drunk, nothing would have happened. And I actually heard Dr. Herman say that his death occurred sometime after midnight. It is not your fault. Certainly, he would not be cleaning it in the middle of the night.
I really hope so. Bates is probably right. Henry most likely fell in there by accident. Have you seen Robert today?
Yes, Sir Robert was reading the newspaper in the dining room this morning. If you would like to speak with him, I am sure you'll find him in his study.
I spoke to Collier. As you can imagine, he asked me a lot of curious questions. Tell me, what did he question you about?
Many things, but most of all, he was interested in the place where we found Henry. It was very unpleasant having to describe it all over again, sir.
Oh? Can you repeat to me what you told him?
I was afraid you would ask. Well, if I must. I was awakened by a sharp knock at the door of my room. Morris was shouting something about Henry. He seemed utterly confused, rapidly pouring out incoherent sentences. He wanted me to go with him to the back garden immediately. At that moment, I still had no inkling of what had transpired.
Did you go with him right to the fountain?
Yes, and only there did I realize what had happened. It took me a while to come to myself again, but then I went straight to the telephone.
What time was it?
It was about 6 in the morning. Collier and Dr. Herman arrived an hour later. That is all, sir. You know the rest.
Yes. Thanks for being so patient, Bates. When did Dr. Herman leave?
Half an hour ago. He took Henry's body to the old morgue.
Did he mention to anyone what he thought about all this?
He had a long conversation with the detective, but I have no idea what they were speaking about. I was so distraught, I was not really listening.
All right. That's all then, Bates. Body is in the old morgue then. What was Morris doing in the back garden so early in the morning? His work is in the stable, right?
Yes, but he sometimes helps with the gardening. Henry cannot do everything that needs to be done. I mean, he was not...
Bates, why don't you take the rest of the day off? You don't have to work under the circumstances.
No, sir. I do not want to just be sitting around brooding. I'd rather attend to my responsibilities. It helps take my mind off things.
I understand. I think I will go now.
I'll return to my work.
I need a word with you, Robert.
Yes, but I am quite busy at the moment.
I won't keep you long.
Yes, I'm listening.
Did you speak with Collier?
Yes, he detained me for over half an hour with those questions of his.
So, what do you think about all of this?
Me? Collier's theory seems logical to me. I do not believe anyone would want to kill Henry. Henry drank himself to senselessness many times before, but this time he was unlucky enough to fall into the pond. Cold water certainly had something to do with the body's condition. Being a physician, I can certainly attest to that.
You're probably right.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? I have a lot of work to do today.
Victoria is not willing to talk to me right now. Maybe you should talk to her instead.
You need to consider her age, Samuel. She just needs some time to herself. I'll talk to her in the evening.
You have mentioned often since I arrived that you have a lot of work. So, what are you working on?
Oh, I would rather not bother you with the details. Let's just say I'm carrying out specific research. Perhaps I will tell you more about it tomorrow, when I have some time. I need to leave for Ashbury this evening to check on some results.
Oh, all right. I must go now.
Right then. I'll return to my work.
The ceiling has collapsed under its own weight. The old wing won't last much longer. Luckily, no one was here when it happened. The hole in the window lets cold wind and rain enter the room. If it rains like this tomorrow too, we'll have to patch the window up. Decayed wooden beams have broken up and fallen to the floor. The wooden ceiling is now unstable. It could collapse at any minute. According to both Bates and Collier, Henry's body was tangled up in algae when they found him. How could he possibly have drowned in this, though? I shouldn't have made Henry clean the fountain. How could I have known that something like that would happen? Something is glittering at the bottom. What could it be? The Black Mirror Castle. Cans of paint and a tin with brushes lying on it. Only painter's stuff, nothing else. It's full of dry leaves. Nothing but leaves. Gardening tools and small tubes with fertilizer. I can't see a bill of exchange anywhere. Where could Henry have put it? There is nothing interesting in the drawer. Seeds of some plants, maybe beans. They're empty. ready for planting in. It's full of clean water. I don't want to water anything. It's closed and probably full of whiskey. Henry hid it here so as not to carry it. It's locked.